What's up, notJust developers? In today's video, we're gonna continue our authentication workflow series. And in this tutorial, we're gonna learn how to create sign up screen, forget password, and other important screens from the sign up and authentication workflows. If you didn't follow the first video in this series, check it out somewhere here or here. I will link it. And let's see what exactly we're gonna build today. So here is the sign-in screen that we have managed to build in the previous video, and there we implemented all these custom buttons, all these custom inputs, and we put everything together in this sign-in screen. In today's video, we're gonna take this build a step further, and we're gonna create an account screen where you'll be able to have multiple inputs for your data, then press register or navigate back to the sign-in screen. Also, in today's video, we're gonna implement the forgot password flow, which starts with setting your username, and then after you press send, you will be redirected to the reset your password. In this screen, you will insert your code that you will receive on your email or on your phone, for example. And after that, you will enter your newly created password. So we're gonna implement all of these screens that you saw in today's video. We're also gonna link them together with navigation. We're gonna speak about navigation. We're gonna put all these screens together and implement this navigation from one screen to another. In today's video, we're gonna cover only the UI part in React Native, and later on in the future videos, we're gonna implement the backend using Amplify and also social sign-ins with Google and Apple. So if you enjoyed this series, consider subscribing to the channel because this will help me a lot, and also turn on the notification bell because not to miss any future videos. But without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial. The sign-up screen design-wise looks very similar to the sign-in screen because we are trying to keep consistent, and it's gonna be much easier to create because we already have all the custom inputs, all the custom buttons, and now whenever we need to create a new screen, it's just like Lego putting the pieces together that we need here on the screen. So let's start with creating the title, inputs, email, password, buttons, and so on. So let's go back in our project, and to simplify things, I'm gonna duplicate the sign-in screen. Let's rename it to sign up screen, sign up, and the same things for the file name. Let's rename it to sign up screen. Okay, in the index here, make sure to import it from sign up. And let's open our sign up screen here and also rename the component sign up. Scroll down, and whenever you export the sign up screen. Our sign up screen will not have a logo, but it will have a text with a title. So the title there is gonna be create an account. The style for the title, styles.title. Let's define the title styles here. You're not gonna see the updates because we didn't change yet the component in our app.js, so we're gonna do that in a second. So for the title, let's just do font size 24, font weight bold, color 051C 60, and also let's add some margin to make sure that it has some spacing there. All right, so now let's go ahead and open our app.js. And here, besides the sign-in screen, let's import a different one, the sign up screen. Sign up. And let's replace the sign-in with a sign up at the moment. Later on, we're going to implement navigation. It's going to be much easier, but now just replace the sign up screen, and we should see the create an account here on the top, which is the title and not the logo compared to the sign-in screen. All right, so now we can close the sign-in screen, app.js, and what else? The custom button probably. Let's focus only on the sign up screen. So the inputs that we will have here is starting from the top, the username, email, and password inputs. So let's do that. Starting from the state, we have username. Then after username, we're gonna have email, password, and after the password, we're gonna have password repeat, set password repeat. Use state empty string. Perfect. So regarding the height, we don't need it because that was used for the logo. So I can remove it from here. Image as well, and the logo as well. We don't need it here. Okay, let's go. Here are our custom inputs. First one is username. Perfect. The second one is gonna be email, value email, set value, set email. Then we have password. Let's copy the password and add the repeat password. Same for the value, password repeat, and set password repeat here for the setter, which is as well as secure text entry. So now we have our username, we have our email, we have our password and repeat password. Perfect. The next one, the button is called register. Custom button, register, and let's do on register pressed, just to make sure that the name of a function is on register pressed. Okay, on register press. Then instead of a custom button there, we have the text for the terms of use and privacy policy. So we're not gonna have the forgot password button. However, we're gonna have a text that will say, by registering, you confirm that you accept our terms of use and privacy policy. Let's try to remember it. By registering, confirm that you accept our terms of use and privacy policy. Save. Okay, so yeah, let's define some style here for our text. But the good thing about text is that we can nest different text elements inside a text element. So what that will help us to achieve is to give different styles for some parts of a sentence. For example, here, terms of use and privacy policy should have different styles. So by putting them inside their own text, terms of use, text, we can assign different styles here. So styles equal styles dot link. It has a link style. And the same for our privacy policy. We encapsulate it into a text and we give a link style. Save. So let's define the styles for the text and the link in our here. For the logo, we don't need the logo here in the sign up. Text and link. So the text will have a color gray and a margin vertical 10. Yep, now it's better. And the link will have a color FDB075. Perfect. So yeah, I see that and privacy do not have a space between them, for example here, and that is because our code is getting trimmed, so there is no space. Even if we add it here, there is not going to be any space, so we can add the space as a JavaScript character here like this. Okay, so one more thing that we can do with this terms of use link, we can assign an on press event to our text and on of use pressed, and the same thing for the privacy policy on press, and we can define them here. And with these two functions, if I press on the terms of service link, I see the console warn being displayed. So here you can either redirect on an internal page of your application for the terms of service or policy, or you can open a new window in a browser if you have them on your website. And to do that, check out linking and how to open a browser window on a specific URL. Okay, but now what should we do? The social sign-in buttons are the same, and because they are the same and they take so much code like space as well as functions, I am thinking to extract them to a separate component, because there is going to be a lot of logic here. For example, checking if you are on iOS and displaying the sign-in with Apple and so on. So instead of doing it in multiple places, I would rather have social sign-in buttons. And here, let's define the social sign-in buttons. JS. Let's do React Native functional export. And let's copy our social sign-in buttons. These three, the sign-in with Facebook, with Google, and with Apple. I'm gonna copy them from here and paste them inside instead of our text, inside our view here. All right, so also we don't need the view because we don't need to style anything there for the container. So for that reason, I'm gonna remove it and leave it as a empty fragment. Let's also make sure to import the custom buttons. Import custom button. And let's also bring the buttons, the functions on sign in with Apple, with Google, and with Apple here. Save. And I think it has everything that it needs. So let's try to import it in our sign up screen. Social sign-in buttons, but because we forgot to add the index file there, we see here the folder and the file name. So to simplify it, we usually add the index.js and export. And in sign up screen now we don't need the file name because it's gonna take it from index, and index will point to the right file. So let's render them here after the terms of use. Social sign-in buttons, perfect. And the same thing we can do in sign-in screen to delete these three buttons and replace them with the social sign-in buttons. Also make sure to remove the free functions for the social sign-in and make sure to import social sign-in buttons from our components. All right, so back to our sign up screen where we are working. The last step is to replace the bottom text here. Have an account, sign in. So have an account, sign in. And the name of the function is going to be on sign in pressed. Let's replace it on sign up with on sign in. Forgot password, we don't have it. We can remove it. So yeah, that's it on this page. We have all the inputs that we need. We have our register, sign in with Facebook, Apple, Google, and we have an account. All right, so with that being said, we are done with our sign up screen here. We have a title, username, email, and everything else. Let's move on to the next screen that we will need to design. So we will need email confirmation screen, and after you complete your creating account here, we are going to implement later on the logic of receiving unique code on your email, and with that code you can approve and confirm that that email belongs to you. So for that we will need a separate screen that will contain a title, a username input, which is optional. It depends, we can take the username logically because we know which user is doing this action, and the confirmation code input, also the buttons. So for the style here, I took them from Amplify, but we are gonna use the same styles that we have in our application to keep everything consistent. Here we have a reference of what do we need to have on that page. So, okay, let's duplicate our sign up screen this time. Sign up, duplicate. It's gonna be renamed to confirm email screen. Confirm email screen. In the index, let's make sure to take it from confirm email screen. Let's copy this name and let's rename the file, not this one, the sign like this, enter, come on. and the name of our function as well. Export default, confirm email screen. Now let's change the title from create an account to confirm your email. And let's go in our app.js and import our newly created screen. Let's replace it here in the rendering part. And now we should see the same thing with a different title. So the title, if you see the title confirm your email, then everything that you have done is correct. If not, go back and make sure that you have all the names properly renamed from sign up to confirm email. And if you are on the same page as we have right now, we can go ahead and start changing this screen. So the only state variable that we will need here is gonna be the code that you receive on your email. So let's do code here. Let's remove all the custom inputs except the code. Set code, save. Okay. The button is confirm, or for the placeholder, enter your confirmation code. Probably is gonna be better. Yes. For the button text, confirm, on, confirm, pressed. Let's go ahead and rename from on register press to on confirm press. We're not gonna have a privacy policy here. Let's remove it. We are also not gonna have a social sign-in providers, but what are we gonna have here? The confirm, back to sign in, and resend code. Okay, so let's rename this to back to sign in on sign in pressed. And also let's have another button here that will help the user request a new email. So resend code on resend pressed. Let's do it here. We don't need the other one. Yeah, now we have on resend press, back to sign in, and the confirmation. Now it's a good time to also add the third style for our buttons, which is gonna be secondary. Because on this screen we have both primary, secondary, and tertiary. So let's go ahead in our custom button and add some styles for this. Let's do custom button, index, not index, custom button here. So for the container underscore secondary, we will not have any background color, but we're gonna have a border color of this one. So it's gonna be inverted. Border with this and border with, let's try 2, and let's add a comma. Yeah, now it looks better. And for the text underscore secondary, we're gonna have color the blue. Yeah, right now we have all three types of buttons: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Perfect. So we have our confirm your email screen. All right, what's next? Let's have a look. Yeah, we have everything here. The last screen is reset your password. Yeah, this is the screen that you will reach whenever you will press the forgot password button here on the sign in screen. So whenever you forget password, you go there, you input your email or username, and you will receive new code on your email. So let's do this screen as well. I'm gonna close everything. We can start by duplicating our confirm email screen. So let's rename to forgot password screen. Rename forgot password screen. Let's copy it, enter in the index. If it asks us to update the imports, press yes. If not, go to the index and update it manually here to forgot password screen. All right, let's open forgot password screen and rename the name of a component and the export. And also the title to be able to see the change. So the title is reset your password. Reset your password. So again, how we did previous time, let's go to our app.js. Let's import that screen, import forgot password screen, and let's replace it in our application here. So that should open our reset your password screen. Perfect. So what do we need on this screen? We need title, we need username and buttons. So instead of code, we will have username, set username. So for our custom input, let's say username, and set username. Custom button, what is gonna be? Send. Okay, the custom button is gonna be send on send pressed. Let's replace it here. We don't have a resend, we only have back to sign in button. Yeah, like this, it's good enough. So with that, our screen is finished. So you see, when we have everything ready, like all our custom inputs, custom buttons and so on, it's much easier to then create new screens and so on. So it's very important to make sure you structure everything correctly. So after you press send in this screen, you're gonna receive an email with a code. And the application will automatically redirect you to the next screen, which is the reset your password. Here you're gonna input the confirmation code from your email and a new password that you want to create. So by doing that, it's gonna confirm the email code is the same as the email owner, and it's gonna update the new password. So let's do that right now. Yeah, what we're gonna do, again, as we did, we take forgot password screen and we rename it to reset password or new password screen. Let's copy this name because we're gonna need it. Let's rename the file, save. Let's update automatically. If not, go make sure that in index you have new password screen here. Let's open new password screen, rename the name of a component, the export of the component, and here the title is gonna be reset your password, the same as there. Okay, no worries. So let's go in our application, import our reset or new password screen. New password screen, let's replace it here, and let's go back to our new password screen. And what we will have the code that you receive on email, set code. We're gonna have the new password, set new password. So here instead username, code, set code. Then we need another input for new, or let's do enter your new password, and set new password. Perfect, send. The button is gonna be submit. And on submit pressed. Let's copy the name and replace it here. On resend, we don't have a resend button here. We don't need that function. And back to sign in, is it still valid here? Yes, back to sign in is still valid here. Okay, perfect. Now we have the last screen created, right? So what's the next step? The next step is to put all this screen together using React Navigation and make sure that we are able to navigate from one screen to another without having to replace the screen here in our application.js. So let's start by installing our React Navigation version 6, install and set up. So let's open the installation guide here. All right, so let's go to the getting started. What do we need? Installation with npm. Let's start by installing React Navigation Native. And I'm gonna go in our application. Let's open and do npm install React Navigation Native. While this is in progress, let's go ahead and install the dependencies that we need. So the first one is for the Expo project, and here is for a React Native project. Let's copy these dependencies. These are React Native screens and React Native safe area context. So After finishing installing this dependency, we can go ahead and install the other dependencies that we need for the screens, safe area, context. And let's have a look at the next step. So from React Native 0.60, linking is automatic. We don't need to do that. If you are developing on a Mac system for iOS, make sure to also run npx pod install iOS. I usually work on macOS and I need to do that, but now I am on Windows and I don't need to do this step. So if you are macOS, make sure to run this command. Perfect. So yeah, we need to do some changes, some setup in our native application for React Native screens to work properly. So we need to paste in this code inside our main activity. So let's open our project, let's open our files, and in our root folder, there is the Android folder here. Let's open it, app, source, main, Java, and here you will see java.com authentication, the name of your project. And let's open main activity. So in this main activity, we will paste our function here for the onCreate inside our main activity. And also we should make sure to import android.os.bundle on top here like this. All right, this is done. The next step is going to be to wrap our whole application in a navigation container and start defining our navigators. So for this project, we're going to use a stack navigator. So where is it? Let's do native stack navigator. This is the most basic navigator that we have that will allow us to navigate from one screen to another using a stack method. So whenever we navigate to another screen, the new screen is going to be placed on top of a previous screen and so on. And whenever you do go back, you just pop the last screen that you have and you are left with the previous screen that you have visited. So that's why it's called a stack navigator, because it stacks all the screen on top of each other. So for that, let's install React Navigation native stack as well. And this is the last thing that we need to install for our navigation. Now here we will see an example of a stack navigator. All right, so everything is good. Perfect. Let's close here. In the source, I'm going to create a new folder called navigation. Let's create the index.js for our navigation, and let's define React Native functional export. So this component is going to call navigation. Let's go in our app.js and let's import our navigation. Perfect. So now let's replace our component with the navigation. And we should see here an empty screen because we don't have anything here in our navigation. Okay, we see navigation. That means that we are rendering perfectly this component. So what do we need to do? If I go back there, we know that we have to wrap our whole application inside a navigation container. This should be the root for all our navigators. So let's go ahead and instead of view, we're going to import navigation container and we're going to wrap this in a navigation container. Perfect. So nothing has changed, but this gave us the ability to add React Navigation Native could not be found. Yeah, that's because we forgot to reinstall the application on our device. And that's necessary because we have installed a new npm run Android, a new package, a new native package that requires reinstallation. npm run Android. All right, so let's also stop our development server and start it again. And let's try to reload right now. All right, so yeah, we see that everything is back to normal. We see our navigation text and we don't have any errors regarding navigation container. So as I was saying, the navigation container gives us the possibility to add navigators here inside it. So one of the navigators that we will add is the stack navigator that we installed. So native stack navigator. So here is an example of how you create it. You import create stack navigator from our native stack. Then we create the stack using this function. And by wrapping all our stack.screens inside a stack.navigator, we have our navigator created. So let's start by importing this. Let's create the stack like this. And let's start by adding the stack.navigator. And inside this stack.navigator, we can add stack.screens. So the screen needs a name. So let's start with probably sign in screen. And it needs a component. The component is gonna be a sign in screen that I'm gonna add in a moment. So let's go in our app.js and take all the imports from here because we're gonna need all these screens. Let's take them from here and bring them in our project here. Also, I think the relative path should be changed. So we go one up, then we go in our screens. Yeah, like this. Let's make sure to change them to everything. And the first component is going to be sign in screen. If I do that, I should see the sign in screen on our device here. Sign in. So everything is as it was before. However, we also have a header. So in a lot of cases, this header is very useful. But in our case, we most probably will not need the header in most of our screens. So we can go ahead and say screen options, header shown, false. This will make sure to hide the header for all the screens that we have inside this navigator. Okay, so let's go ahead and add all the screens that we have there. So I'm gonna do sign up screen, sign up screen. All right, so we have all the screens here. We define them as text screen. The screen that is going to be displayed by default is the first screen that we get here in our navigator. All right, so let's start implementing the actual navigation between screens to screens. So yeah, in our sign. But before that, I really want to add one more screen to show the whole process. And that screen is going to be the home screen. And we're gonna simulate a simple home screen, index.js, React Native functional component. And here, home, sweet home. Okay, so let's also import the home screen here in our navigation. And have it as probably the last screen here. For that, let's think about what the navigation paths are going to be in our screen, and then it's going to be easier for us to implement. So one navigation path is going to be whenever we sign in, we're going to navigate to our home page. Whenever we press on a sign up, we're going to navigate here to creating a new account. Whenever we press on sign in, we're gonna go back to our sign in screen. When we press on the sign up button, we're gonna go to the confirm sign up screen. And what else do we have here? Back to sign in on the confirm page is gonna go back to sign in here. What else? If we press on the forgot password on our login page, we're gonna go to this reset password screen, back to sign in. And whenever we press on the send, we're gonna be automatically redirected to resetting our password here. And again, back to sign in goes there. So these are some of the navigation paths that we have to implement in our application. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm gonna start with sign in screen. Let's open it here. And in order to navigate, we need access to the navigation. So to do that, we can import a hook, use navigation from React Navigation native. So by doing that, we can get access to navigation object. And now, whenever I press on the sign in, we should, of course, first of all, validate user by sending it to the backend and so on. But after doing that, we are gonna do navigation.navigate, and we're gonna navigate home. So if I press right now on the sign in, we should be navigated to our home screen. Perfect. So let's go back here. Navigation, navigate home. Okay. On sign in, press. On forgot password, what should happen here? Navigation, simple. Navigation, navigate. On the screen with name forgot password. If I press forgot password, I go to this screen. Perfect. I don't need the console warn anymore. Neither do I need it here. On sign up, press. Exactly the same, but we want to go to sign up. Save. Where is it? Don't have an account? Create one. Should go to create one account. So everything is done here. Let's move to our sign up screen. So in the sign up screen, again, we're gonna need access to navigation. And on register, press. This again is gonna, no, on register, press, as seen here, we should redirect to confirm email. So navigation.navigate to confirm email. On sign in, press, should go to sign in page. On terms of service, you can navigate to a terms of service page if you have one. I don't have one here, so I'm gonna leave it as it is right now. So from create an account, I can press on the have an account sign in. I go back to this screen, or I can press on the register, which will do all the logic, and after that will redirect us to the confirm your email screen. So from the confirm your email screen, where do we need to be able to go? So const navigation. On confirm, press. Here we probably are gonna go navigation, navigate home. On sign in, press. We're gonna go to sign in. And on resend, press. It's not gonna navigate anywhere, it's just gonna do the resend of code. So if I go to create an account, register, from here I can either confirm and go to home, or back to sign in and go here. Perfect. What else do we need there? The forgot password screen. And whenever we press on send, press, we will automatically be redirected to the new password screen. On send, press. I'm speaking about this button. On sign in, press. On sign in. And on resend, press. We don't need it at all, so let's remove it. So from here, if I press send, I go to the reset your password code and enter your new password. I can also go back to sign in. Yeah, it's everything now is navigatable. So the last step is the new password screen. Let's get the navigation. Come on. On submit, press, we need to go to home. And on sign in, press, we will do sign in. So if I do forgot password, send, from here I can either submit and go to home, home sweet home, or back to sign in and we are here. So with that being said, we have everything navigatable, everything working. We have put all the screens together. So yeah, now all our UI for authentication is ready. In the next video, we're gonna cover how we can take this user interface that we have created today and implement it together with AWS Amplify to have a fully functional authentication flow both on front end and on back end. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel not to miss the future video, which is gonna come in a couple of weeks. And after that, we're also gonna cover some sign in with social accounts like Google, Facebook, Apple, and so on. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and let me know down below what other topics from mobile development would you like me to cover on this channel. So yeah, take care guys, stay hydrated, and write clean code. Bye bye!